You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. Here we are in this tropical climate of ours. Today it was 97 degrees. It's August 30th, although it's supposed to be warm in August, right? And with me tonight is a friend. I haven't seen her in years. She moved away. She moved to California for the big time. She's back here hanging around for a little bit. Ericka Atwell, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How long you been in Rhode Island, or back in Rhode Island?
Back in Rhode Island since, well, I came back for the summertime.
Did you bring this heat? You must have brought this heat.
No, actually, this heat is like this is like a humidity type of a heat that I'm actually not used to because I've gotten quite accustomed to the desert, which is the dry heat.
But it's still heat.
No, this is like I'm just like sweating and humid all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot like wetter, if that makes sense.
It's wetter? Yeah, no, it does make sense.
You know, it's like you're like dying in your car.
Yeah? But it's not like that at 110 degrees in Southern California?
I mean, it's definitely like, it's a dry heat, so it affects you, but this one I just feel sticky all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And we have mosquitoes here, Bob, so.
Oh, you don't have mosquitoes on the West Coast?
No, knock on wood.
There's no mosquitoes on the West Coast?
None that have bitten me, at least, in the past 7 years, but now I got bites all over me. I'm like, what the heck?
Really? I didn't know there was no mosquitoes on the West Coast.
Not that I've.
But they have, what they do have is fires.
Oh, yeah.
They have mudslides.
They
have floods.
Those natural disasters.
They
are
have
crazy.
Earthquakes. And now they're predicting they're even going to have, soon enough, hurricanes.
You know, I don't have an earthquake kit, and that's something that I feel like I should have. I have extra water, just in case if anything happens.
Yeah, what is in
I have no idea what I would do with just water, but.
What is in an earthquake kit?
Apparently, you're supposed to have, like, you know, nutrition bars and, like, batteries. I don't even know what you would need the batteries. You know.
Oh, you need for a flashlight or something. The lights go out.
Yeah, of course. Like, so I guess like flashlights and just water and maybe a blanket and
maybe a jack to jack up the
food.
thing that's crushing your body. You know,
I would need cat food for my cats, and I would have to carry 2 cats somehow. I don't know how I would do that, but.
Eric, is this air conditioning on or what? It feels awful warm in here. Don't it?
It is a little. Well, you know, my jacket, I have the fall wishes going on right now, so.
Yeah, I'm dying with a short sleeve shirt on. You got a leather jacket on.
I can't give into the heat.
I need air conditioning. I need more AC. So where do you live in L.A. or outside L.A.? Where do you live? What town?
I live in what's called Los Feliz. So it's really nice because it's you know, like Hollywood. It's literally right. I live off of Hollywood Boulevard, but I like to say Los Feliz because it's kind of getting to like the more like family, if you will, like hipster type vibe. Like I can walk to like get frozen yogurt. I can walk to like, you know, a coffee shop, read a book. Like it's a cool vibe, you know.
Right. You don't have to have a car like every other place in California. You need a car.
Oh well, I have a car. But when I first moved there, I didn't. For a year and a half, I was the queen of public transportation.
Really?
Oh my God, I was taking 6 buses a day over to Beverly Hills and then back to Los Feliz. I'm in the same place that I originally first moved there when I was renting my girlfriend's couch for $200 a month.
You were renting her couch?
Yeah. It was a negotiation, Bob, because I was just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to check in with myself every 3 months and see how I'm doing. Like, I just wanted to be happy. So I was like on this quest of just like figuring it out.
Now, you just decided on your own to go to California to become an actress.
I don't think it was
actually. Like a song.
It wasn't actually that well planned out. That was my only option. You know, like I had auditioned for the road show here locally.
Right.
You know, I had been in
Me
college.
too.
Did you?
the first one.
What year? Oh, you did?
First
Okay,
year.
so I was, when was that? 2010. I was on the cover of the Connect section of the Providence Journal. I thought it was so cool. I really thought it was in the bag. I wanted that opportunity so bad to like build my reel, to like show people that, you know, like, I don't know, just like that you can do it, you know, and yeah, so the preparation period for me kind of like flew out the window when I didn't make it, you know, and so I said,
where was the audition?
Was
it at Twin River?
It was in East Providence. It was around here. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, see, mine was at Twin River. That
well,
was the first year.
It was at Channel 12, like, you know, WPRI.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's where
Catamount
it is.
Boulevard, yeah.
You know, and I actually,
who were you replacing or trying to replace? Who was on there that year? Do you remember?
Oh, Ben Haig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was.
See, I wasn't replacing anybody. It was the first year.
Oh, cool.
It was the first year.
Yeah, you know, it was, I thought what was going to be a great opportunity, but it didn't work out, so then I had to like figure it out. So I packed less than 2 suitcases, broke up with my boyfriend of close to 3 years. I thought that was going to be my, you know, story. And then, yeah, I moved out there.
Now, did you break up with him for another reason, or did you break up with him just to go to California?
Bob, it was called my quarter-life crisis that I finally, I had to figure it out, Bob, you know? I think being happy is very important in life, you know? And I'm happy that like I kept asking myself what would make me happy, you know?
Right.
And so that didn't always look pretty, but I'm finally happy. So, that's that.
So, have you gone to a lot of auditions in California?
I will say that my focus when I first got out there was to do more of like the morning TV, like, you know, hosting type of a deal.
Yeah.
Then I worked for Paula Abdul. I think you know that about me, right?
Yep.
I was her personal executive assistant. And then after that contract, I didn't renew it because we both felt like it was important for me to kind of creatively go find myself, because I had to financially get myself situated, you know, in order to be out there, because it's not a cheap city. And so I started doing some stand-up. And then I quickly realized that at the time it was like you're kind of like delayering all these things like I did in my 20s. Does that make sense? So you know, it was interesting, it was cool, but like the vibe of like the stand-up comedy world just I didn't find it fulfilling. Not that it's tough. I'm not afraid of toughness. It was just that it was like late nights, and it was like who's drinking, who's doing this, who's doing that, and it's like I need to be doing something that's like feeling good. You know what I mean? And of course, like you get a little like buzz high, like when you get off stage and you're doing jokes. But like I wanted more, and so I started researching acting studios because I had acted as a kid growing up. I just never knew that you could get paid to do it. Like, it just wasn't on the radar. Like, you know, I was told to be financially independent and, like, you know, roll up my sleeves, get a job. So, like, kind of like, but anyway, so I went to this one acting studio, and his name is Aaron Spicer. He's a coach to Will Smith and J-Lo. Love J-Lo movies, by the way.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
You know what's on E all the time is that Wedding Planner, and anytime it's on, she makes me cry. Like, I love J-Lo.
But her movie, what was her first movie? Glitter?
No.
That was a bomb.
No, her first movie wasn't maybe, but I remember Selena. Like, I was a 90s kid, like, girl growing up, so I loved her from that.
I think Glitter was her first movie.
I'm sure, but that's the one that I first remember her, you know?
I think she's gorgeous. I really do. And I think she's learned to act, but she didn't in that movie.
In that one? No, she grew.
No, I'm telling you.
I think growing is, you know, a part of it. I think, like, the confidence, like, the more you do it, the more natural you are, you know?
Well, it's like anything else. Practice, 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 right?
Practice.
Yeah. And then the more comfortable you get in front of the camera.
I love the camera. I do.
The important thing is the camera loves you.
That is. So I've been told. Love you right back. But no, you know, Tom Hanks and Nicole Kidman, I had read some things throughout my career, said both two things that really hit home to me. And
what? Which was? Now that's pretty odd that you put those two together.
I think, well, yeah. I mean, I like their acting, you know. But I just really liked what they had to say.
Yep.
And for Tom Hanks, he says that basically, you know, like you're marking like your time in history. Like it's like proof that like you were here, like seeing yourself on film.
Right. So I can prove I was here for 26 years.
You can prove you were here. Like, I'm telling you, can I have your job in the public relations office? And then I'll, like, be running, you know, come on, Bob, help me out. No. In Rhode Island terms, you know, but no, out in LA, I really liked the fact that he said that. And then also Nicole Kidman, one year I was reading, and it was right before the Oscars, and she said that acting is such a wonderful tool to explore living in other people's shoes.
That makes sense.
And I think that my nature as like a person, like I'm very curious about people, if you haven't noticed. And you know, like their perspectives and where they come from and da-da. And I love the storytelling. That's really like why I'm kind of in love with acting, you know. It's cool. Yeah. Well, you've acted.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But actually, I've only been an extra like us. You know, you've been an actress.
No, but the thing is that I think even being an extra, that's how I got started. I mean, I was Robin Williams' extra on his last show, The Crazy Ones. They, you know, the second assistant director came up to me at the end of set. It was kind of like, you know, a phone call. It's just like LA and Hollywood is very much like, it's just making a call, like you gotta, it's networking, it's knowing people, it's your reputation, because people don't want to work with people that they don't like, Bob. And that's the truth of the matter.
Right.
You know, so you show up and you take it serious, even if you are an extra. They like you. He ended up coming up to me at the end and he was like, hey Ericka, he's like, next week, and by the time I needed the work at the time because I had just stopped working for Paula. So my unemployment was running out, like, and I just knew that I wanted to be on set. I just didn't know how to like get there. And then I like reminded myself actually that like I had connections over at Fox, and they ended up giving me work. Like I remember it was like I earned all my SAG vouchers, and I became their non-union regular on that show with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Robin Williams. I was working, you know, like 4 to 5 days a week, and like that's important. Now it wasn't union pay, by the way. You know? It wasn't. But now, if I wanted to do work like that, you know, like you get paid more to be there, and like you get to go
substantially more too.
You get to go to Crafty quicker than the, you know, non-union. But I kind of think the whole thing is just like a process, you know. And I think that everyone that's there on set makes the whole process.
Explain how you get your
SAG
credit and SAG.
So there's a couple ways.
Cards.
There's a couple ways that you can join SAG, and
if you have a speaking role in a movie.
Yep, of course. Like there's like the lucky SAG people that get, you know, like, you know, if the director comes up to you and says, "I need you to say 5 lines for me," or something, like that doesn't really happen though. Like I just have to be honest, you know. You earn your vouchers on set, and so it's basically hopefully like the second assistant director likes you, or like there's an extra union voucher and you happen to know. It's just very, you don't know.
How about if the director likes you?
Then you're really in business, you know.
Because when I was in the movie Meet Joe Black,
that's amazing to me, by the way.
The director at one night come over to me, and he was on his lifts on the stairs, you know, hanging from the lift with the camera, and he goes, Bob, and I don't even turn around because I'm sure there was other Bobs. There were 600 people there, and I'm walking down the 109 stairs, and somebody says, "He's talking to you, you know." I said, "No, he's not." And I turn around, I look, and he has his hat. He turns his hat around. He had one of my stickers on his hat.
Get out. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, he was a hot ticket.
See, Rhode Island legacy, you know, having the show. He probably was watching, flipping through, saw you, and then he saw you on set.
The funny part is, I didn't go there to be in the movie. I went there because I wanted to cover the movie.
Oh, there you go. But that's even better.
And they said, "Yo, good look. You belong in this movie."
That's perfect, Bob.
That's how that happened. I hadn't planned on it. I didn't go there to be an extra in a movie.
Yeah.
But I ended up there for 5.5 weeks, and I got SAG pay a couple of times.
That's amazing. So maybe you earned your vouchers and you don't even know it.
Oh, I do. No, I have.
But you have all of them.
Oh, I believe I do.
So now we just need to make a movie here and, like, you know, make you SAG. That'll go when you decide to retire. That'll be your thing, Bob.
Really?
You'll be a SAG actor.
I'll be a SAG actor.
Sure.
Because I was also, and then I got a call after that movie was done. I got a call out of Boston from
Angela Perry.
No.
Boston Casting.
Yes.
She's the owner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Out of Clear Blue, she wanted me to be in Civil Action with John Travolta.
I have to say thank you to Angela Perry. She's amazing. She gave me my first Showtime auditions for a TV show this past summer for that show Smilf that they film in Dorchester. My first time I went in, I had a one-liner. My second time, I had 2 pages. My third time, I had 8 pages, 3 scenes. So it was pretty rad, you know? Like, you work really hard to get those opportunities, you know? Which makes me feel very fueled and ready for LA. There's more going on there, Bob, you know?
Really?
But I would like to say that, you know, it'd be amazing to work home here.
You prefer to work here?
I want to do both, Bob, you know? My family's here, like my parents, you know? So,
Well, for a while there, this was like considered Hollywood East.
Oh, I'm sure. There's such potential for it, isn't there?
Well, the problem was when they knocked off the
tax credits?
SAG credits. the tax credits for the tax credits, and they knocked them off.
I really like to see some local hire requirements in there personally. AKA call Ericka Atwell living out in Los Angeles. Give her a chance at least
To come back.
you know, of course, like who wouldn't want to shoot in their home state? And like that's the beautiful thing about Rhode Island, that's so small. You know what I mean? It you know, wouldn't be a bad gig. That's all I'm saying.
What about this gig? What's
Yes.
with this gig? What happened here?
So
Explain this to me, Miss Arizona.
Miss Arizona, yeah. So it's a great
Now,
film.
this is your production? What is this?
So actually the director, writer, her name is Autumn McAlpin, and she has done some other projects, but this was her first feature that she was doing. And so Steve Guttenberg is in this film. Are you familiar with him?
No.
From the 80s. He was in like Police Academy.
Yeah, I know the name, but I'm
He was
trying
in
to
like
picture
3
the
Men
guy.
and a Baby.
Oh, yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah,
I know who he
he's
is.
really cool. We were actually in hair and makeup, and he was being turned into a drag queen, and I was like, Steve, you're glamorous, you know? But what happened was, like I said, LA is very much connections, you know? So it was a Sunday morning, and I was having breakfast with a girlfriend of mine who's also in production, and I ran into my girlfriend. I work a lot of jobs. I had 27 W-2s from last year, like being
27
well, actually
W-2s.
not W-2s, excuse me, 1099s. Let's be real.
Oh, that's right,
Which
yeah.
means you got to like save your money to pay your taxes, but like that's another story, because everything works out, and thank God for write-offs. But you know, so I was sitting there with my girlfriend enjoying the Sunday, and my girlfriend Natalie was coming out, and I work with her a lot in casting. So I don't know if you know that about me, but I'm also a casting associate, and last year I was a casting director on like a couple of projects, which is cool. I believe in knowing all aspects of everything. So
yeah, you're learning everything, huh?
yeah, you got to, you know?
Yeah.
You got to appreciate every aspect of it so you can thrive, like you can just be a boss, you know? Like that's my mentality. Like I want to be on set one day and just know everything,
Right.
you know? And I think you're always going to learn and like still learning, but so long story short, Natalie hits me up maybe 5 minutes after, and she's like, hey, do you know any really good first ADs, which is a first assistant director,
Right.
which is the director's right arm,
Yep.
you know? Because they had in the production this one first AD that just wasn't working. They were freaking out about the budget, the time, everything. And I thought to myself, and I was like, of course, like, because I had been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff
When
that
you say,
summer.
that's me.
Well, no, I had been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and I had worked with this guy closely as like a second assistant director, because Bob, just being on set to me is happiness. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
I know that one day it'll be in front of the camera, but I'm not afraid to work towards that, you know?
Right.
So I called my friend Dave, and I said, hey, listen, I said, I don't know what this pays. I said, but I can tell you that I work with Natalie all the time. She's terrific. I said, would you be open to first ADing, finishing
So
out
you were
this movie?
passing it off instead of taking it for yourself.
Well, because I'm not, but here's what I did, and this is why you'll love me. So you know, and he and I were discussing a film that he was supposed to be doing that I was going to be his line producer on, okay? So he said, Ericka, you know, I got a lot on my plate. I really want to focus on my projects. He's like, but I'll call her and hear like her out. I said, that's fine. I said, just call me back and let me know how you make out. Calls me back. He's like, Ericka, thank you so much. He's like, I just have to say, he's like, you know, he's like, I just got engaged today. He's like, and I'm going to take this job. He's like, it's, you know, it's good money. So thank you. I said, you want to thank me? I said, when you're on set, if you need a second assistant director, I said, you call me. Like, I'm your girl. And he said, oh, okay. And so the next morning, sure enough, 9 o'clock, Bob, I got a call. And he said, hey, he said, listen, he's like, we don't need a second assistant director. He's like, but remember when I told you that you'd make a really good line producer, Ericka? And I was like, yeah. He's like, we need an assistant line producer. Like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, okay, because like P.S. like I have like a pizza job at night that I'm working, and like he's like, it's 9 days of work. It's like good money, Bob. You can't just like, you know. And I just kind of like
Now,
took a risk.
what's a assistant line producer do?
Assistant line producer. Well, I learned on the fly. You streamline all of the paperwork. Bob, there's so much paperwork when you make a movie. You know, I mean, and you know, you also are in touch with locations and the producer and the director, et cetera. So long story short, I straightened out a lot of paperwork. I worked very hard. I was scanning things. I was doing all the things that thankfully I learned through working with Paula Abdul. And it's, you know, you got to be organized. You have to be. So I streamlined everything. I spoke with the producer. I said, hey, listen, you know, I got this casting job that just came up. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay with you on set. And she was like, well, she's like, what can we do to make you stay, you know? And I said, it's just that, I said, you know, line producing is great. I was like, but I said, it's just not, you know. And she's like, well, she's like, I'll make this up to you. And so she said, can you stay till the end of the day? And I said, of course. Like, and at the end of the day, I like, took the binder and I went home because I was committed to staying with the project. You know, I could have jumped, is my point. The next day, I get a text message at 7 a.m. She's like, the director wants to put you in the movie. She's like, you've worked so hard and you've really helped us. I mean, I was calling to secure like an airplane down in like, you know, Southern California with the locations manager. I didn't know where all these like connections came from, Bob, but it was like everything kind of came together. Like I helped replace the first aid. It was like meant to be. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, you learned the system is what you did.
Yeah.
You're a Rhode Islander, that's why.
Yeah.
Rhode Island is no harder.
6 degrees, but it's like putting them together. That's all it is, you know, and making a call and stuff. So I was really grateful because that then joined, that forced me to join the union as an actress. And she gave me 3 scenes, so I had 2 days of filming. And you know, joining the union is really declaring that you're a professional actor, that you're taking this serious, and then you get more serious opportunities. So.
Well, had I thought about moving to California, I would have joined the union.
Yeah,
but
of course.
There wasn't enough action around here to justify spending all that money to become SAG.
Yeah, of course. But it's good. It's so nice to have the option.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I guess no. I think I'd qualify anyway. After was taken up by SAG anyway, right?
After?
After was TV production. That's this stuff.
Uh-huh.
If you're doing what I do, you qualify for SAG.
Oh, of course you do. I mean, you have your local production, right? I mean, that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Call SAG. That's
No, it does.
That's what I said that whole week. I was like, I'll call SAG. We'll call SAG. Like, you know, but they're, you know. But I just booked another role on a movie, and it's a hockey film, and it'll be the first NHL hockey film directed by a woman in America, and that shoots in Columbus, Ohio next summer. And I had originally auditioned for the lead. This is like I would say like I've had 2 real opportunities this past year, and one of them, like the timing and everything else, that just didn't work out. But the second one, I didn't book the lead, but I did get great feedback from my director, and she said that she loved my audition, and she loved like our Skype follow-up and callback, and she said she still wants me a part of her film, and that she'll be working on other projects in the future. So that felt good, and I look forward to that. And my agents are excited to have me back in LA, so.
Well, that's the toughest thing, though, isn't it, getting an agent?
Oh, for sure, Bob. You know, I mean, people think that this stuff is easy. Like, I mean, I kind of tried to shed light on, like, it's a process, you know? You really have to have your ducks in a row. You got to have headshots. You have to have your reel, which showcases your work, you know? You want to be proactive in doing things live on stage. So this past year I had the opportunity, I was invited to participate on a home team for sketch comedy, which is like SNL. Yeah, and so basically what happened was, it's called IOWest, which is Improv Olympics West. It's sister theater to Second City. Are you familiar?
Sure.
Second City?
Yeah, Chicago.
Chicago, exactly. So basically what happened, they just followed me on Instagram, by the way, the Los Angeles Second City, so I got to follow them back. It's pretty cool. But, you know, those are the theaters, those are the stages as an actor that you want to be out on in Hollywood. And I was very proud. And I was actually the last actor with the last sentence ever for a sketch comedy show at IOWest on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, and, you know, that was pretty cool. But
so you get the last word, though.
I got the last word, yeah. And I played Sharna Halpern, which is like the owner that they were kind of dissing. But I gave it, it was fun, you know?
Yeah.
It was packed. It was, nothing like that live laughter, you know? Which I was actually doing some theater here locally, too. And,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. And that was fun.
Recently?
Yeah. Theater 82. Are you familiar with the Artist Exchange?
I know about the artist.
Yeah. So I was doing an opening act for a play Nick Albanese put together called Everybody Needs Some Therapy Sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
And we actually met in line when we auditioned for the roadshow. So he had this post on Facebook, and I knew that I was going to be home for a little while.
Right.
And he was looking for a male therapist.
And you turned it into a female.
So I hit him up, and I was like, is there any reason why it can't be a female? And he said, well, how old are you? I said, what does it matter? You know what I mean?
You're supposed to ask a woman that.
Right. And I was like, does it matter? I said, just let me read for it. So I met him for coffee, and I read for it. And he said, all right, it's you. It's all you.
Really?
So, yeah. So that was really fun. I think my best memory of doing it was seeing my mom like in the shadow of the audience and seeing her laugh out loud.
Really?
It was so
good.
cool.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it in front of stages, like strangers all you want, but like, you know, when you make your mom laugh and like, you know it's legit. It was so nice to have so much support and love while I was home. It was 4 sold-out shows.
They what?
It's 4 sold-out shows.
Really?
Yeah, no joke.
Wow.
You know? That was like 50 seats, but still. Still. That's 200 people, Bob.
That's right. That's
You know?
right. That's right. You got it there. And where was that now? Where was it?
That was right at Ralph Square in Cranston.
Oh, really? Rolf Square?
Ralph Square.
Well, I know where Rolf Street is.
Yeah.
On Rolf Street,
Right
apparently.
over there. It's Artist Exchange. It's a nonprofit. So a lot of young adults with Down syndrome go there during the day, and they have all these activities, and they have theater, and it's just a fantastic creative space. And at nighttime, they kind of rent out their theater situation, which is a small black box theater. But it's cool, you know? It's fun.
Speaking of theater, have you ever been to the King Richard's Fair?
A long time ago. Is that your favorite? What is it?
No, I was just thinking about that. Thinking about
When I went to
the
LaSalle, our freshman trip, I think, was to King Richard's Fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because that would sound like something you would do.
You think so?
Why not?
Medieval? Maybe. I don't know.
Why not?
I like the turkey legs, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's right.
Those
yeah.
are so good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
The turkey leg.
They also have those at Disney,
Yeah.
if you've been. Yeah.
No, I haven't been to Disney in a while, but I've Disneyland or Disney World?
Which one's which? I always forget.
Oh, Disneyland's
Disneyland is in California.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I saw that one. It's like I like the one in Florida actually better. I
Oh,
think.
it's bigger.
Yeah.
There's more to it.
Yeah.
But California was there long before.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Walt himself.
You know what I did for kicks one time? I flew to California. My grandfather used to live in Newport Beach
Oh, nice.
on Lido Sod.
Not a bad place to live.
The little island there in Newport Beach. There's a little island. It's a causeway.
Balboa,
goes over
you
to it.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been. I've in that area.
There's a little tiny ferry, one car at a time. It takes over across. And my grandfather lived right on a little island there, right across from. It used to be the cannery. It's not. I'm sure it's not there anymore. And when he died, I thought I was in.
Oh yeah.
Because my mother was an only child. But what happened was, he had moved to California. He divorced my grandmother, moved to California. But I was in touch with him all the time. I went out and visited him every year.
Why would you lose that contact?
I visited him just about every year. And my mother was in contact with him almost every month.
Oh, nice.
So he dies, and I go to the reading of the will, and my mother is taken right out of the will. And so was I, of course.
Get out.
Yeah. Well,
Were
he
you
had
bummed?
he had married a girl my mother's age, and she had a kid my age.
Oh, wow.
And they made him the executor of the estate, or administrator of the estate, and they'd taken my grandfather to the law office. The LA law was based on this law office, and I think it's Santa Ana. There's 17 floors of lawyers. It's a whole
Wow.
giant building. It should be bombed to get rid of all the lawyers at once.
Yeah.
17, I don't mean that, folks. 17 floors of lawyers. And that was LA law was based on that particular place.
Get out.
Yeah. And while we were in there, after they read the will, and I was in absolute shock that
Yeah.
nothing came my way. By the way, he was a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
He owned a 14-unit condo complex in Santa Ana, next to the newspaper, right next door to the newspaper. And he owned the place on Lido Sod, and he owned a few other things. He was worth about between $6 and $12 million. I don't know
Wow.
which. And my mother got nothing. And I got nothing, of course. But my mother got nothing. I called my mother and I said, you know, you got bounced out of the will, because when I was leaving, a guy followed me out, and it was a lawyer, and a young lawyer, and he said, you know, you can fight this will. Your mother can easily fight this will. I saw them bring your grandfather in there last year, all frail and whatever, and they totally destroyed your grandfather's original will.
Right.
And because of that, and because my mother was an only child, it only made sense that she would have got something.
Of course.
But when I called my mother, she goes, "Oh, the hell with him. If he wants to knock me out, screw him. If I had him and all." I said, "Ma, he wasn't himself."
Yeah.
But my mother would not fly.
Yeah.
I said, "Ma, I will fly back home and I will drive you to California."
Yeah.
She didn't want to hear it. Wouldn't do anything about it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
She just let it go. But so what I did was, the last year I was out there to visit him, I went to visit him. I drove down I was married at the time, and me, my wife, and 2 kids, we drove down to San Diego, walked across the bridge, went into Tijuana for the day.
Oh, wow.
Came back, jumped in the car, and I drove for 18 days up north, all along the Pacific Coast Highway, stopping in all the towns and everything, all the way to Vancouver, British Columbia.
Get out of here. Wow.
I brought the car. I dropped the car.
What kind of car were you driving?
Brand. Well, I rental.
Okay,
They
yeah.
had just started. It was National Car Rental was the first ones to start unlimited miles. Thankfully.
Oh, well.
I put 3,800 miles on that car in 18 days.
Wow.
And I brought the car to the airport in Spokane. Mm-hmm. And I turned it in, and the guy went out to check the car, and he came back, and he had written down 380. And the guy's writing it up, and he's looking down, but then he realized, and the guy, oh, wait a minute, and he just added an 8 at the end. It was 3,808.
Uh-huh.
It was 3,800 miles, not 380 miles.
Yeah.
And the other guy starts calculating. I go, no, I rented this car based on unlimited miles. Because back in the day, you got 100 miles a day. Mm-hmm. So I would have gotten 1,800 miles. I would have been on the hook for 2,000 miles at 25 cents a mile.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank
500.
you. That's a big stipulation to overlook, you know?
But my point is, I drove the entire West Coast.
Did you love it?
Oh, yeah. It's gorgeous.
What's your favorite part of it? Do you remember?
Yeah. Carmel, Monterey.
A lot of people say that. I haven't been up there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been up there other times, too, because my cousin used to live in Antioch, which is on the way to Sacramento.
Oh, okay. I've spent time in San Francisco. I love it. All different parts, Pacific Beach, Nob Hill, Mission,
Right.
and I love Sausalito.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And of course, all my ex-boyfriends are at Alcatraz. Just kidding.
I've been to Alcatraz twice.
Have you?
Twice, yeah.
Is it eerie? Is it
It's cool.
spooky?
You haven't been there?
No, well, we didn't, we were like kind of on our path or whatever. We were trying to get to Napa, you know what I mean? No.
I've been there, too.
Yeah, it's so
twice,
pretty.
and get this one.
Sonoma
I
so
did not
pretty.
have this much wine.
That's good.
I hate the taste of wine.
That's
hate
good.
it.
I don't really like alcohol either. It doesn't.
I don't drink any alcohol.
It doesn't mix well with the older I get, Back in the day I could hang, but
Yeah.
I can't, And I don't like the way it makes me feel the next day. And
Yeah.
I like to like get up and get at them,
Yeah.
So, but every once in a while, a little here and there, I guess.
Especially now, my God, it's so damn expensive. You go out, I took a girl out one night recently, go to buy a drink. It's $12 for a drink.
I know.
Some of them are $16 for a drink.
I
I can get a
know.
steak for that.
I know, it's true. It's true. It's like so expensive, You know what's a good drink though when you're out? They have it in New York. They don't have it here. Is that frosé? It's like frozen
Frozen
wine.
rosé?
Yeah, that stuff's good. And you kind of
Yeah.
feel like it's like a slushy, so it's fun.
I got sick on wine in college. I drank a gallon of Bally High wine on a bet.
Well, is
One
that like
gallon.
the cousin
Back
to
in the
Carlo
day.
Rossi?
Back in the day, bottom of the barrel stuff.
Yeah,
Boone's
yeah.
Farm or something.
Yeah.
Back in the day, a gallon was they had gallons.
Yeah, like the Carlo Rossi jug.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, is that its cousin?
Oh,
Basically,
yeah.
it's the cheaper cousin.
And we had to do it. There was three things there. There was a case of beer, a gallon of wine, or a quart of something. And I don't know what it was, ginger brandy or something. And I ended up, we pulled straws. I ended up with the wine. I drank that wine. I have never drank wine again, ever.
What color was it?
It was red.
Was it like a Merlot or like a sangria?
No,
You don't it was in the jug. You don't
it
even
was a
know.
jug of wine. It was some kind of junk wine.
It was enough to
It was enough
fill
to-
you a lifetime.
Yep, forever. I will not even sip wine at a toast at a wedding.
So my alcohol that I cannot touch or smell,
I know what it is.
what is it?
It's Mexican.
No.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's Russian.
Vodka?
Raspberry vodka
Oh.
and lemonade. One time, me and all my girlfriends, I went to Rick, but they went to PC, so it's like everyone thought I actually went to PC. But I was like hanging out at PC, and like they had lemonade and they had the raspberry vodka, and till this day, I can't even smell it. I can't.
Oh,
It
no,
makes
I
me
couldn't handle that.
ill. It snuck up on me, with that
Well, I
lemonade.
drank back in the 70s and 80s, vodka, stuff with vodka and cranberry, vodka and
Was it a
7
fun
Up
day the next day?
No, that's the worst part about
Yeah,
drinking.
yeah. Who needs it? I skipped my Pilates class for you tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
It could
That's
mean
how much.
something
That's
for
how
you.
much I love you.
There are a lot of people that have sat there that have done well after leaving. We had somebody here last month, Harry, who's now on channel. What channel is he on in New York City? He's on the NBC station in New York City.
Oh, is he?
He's a sportscaster on the NBC station in New
All
York
right.
City.
High five me. Are you giving me Harry vibes? Okay, good.
And the girl on the anchor on the 6 and the 11 o'clock news on CBS in New York City
Wow.
is, so NBC and CBS New York City have both sat there.
All right.
She's
well,
the anchor, Christine Johnson, my favorite guest ever in 26 years. She was on the show 3 times. She was on at Channel 12 for 5 years before they put her in front of the camera. And I said, who's running that place over there?
she sounds like my kind of woman,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, 5 years she was behind the camera. I said, it took them 5 years to put you in front of the camera. The woman's gorgeous. And I said, who's running that? Ronnie Millsap and Ray Charles over there?
Ray Charles.
Well,
Well, let me tell you something. Ray Charles, my future's going to be so bright that, like Ray Charles, you're going to need some sunglasses. That's my plan when I walk out of here today. So,
There you go.
you know, why not?
Yeah.
And nothing to lose, you know? But New York, if you're watching, I do love sunny California, though. It's,
Yeah.
you know, I've really realized by spending the summer here and stuff that, you know, my life there is, you know, it's a hustle, but it's not that bad, you know? There's a lot of fun things I like to do.
Yeah.
So.
But it'd be a lot, you'd probably miss it a lot more if you were in the dead of winter here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I like the lifestyle there, if that makes sense. I'm very
Yeah, of course it does,
active.
yeah.
I enjoy like eating very clean. Also, and living there is very conducive to that. Like they have like Earth Bar and stuff. I went to this place today to get a smoothie, right? And it was sponsored by like Herbalife, which is like I'm sure you've seen things for it. Like people do the smoothies, they do the bars, all that
Right.
jazz. But it was like use some of the vanilla stuff, and then it was like make a smoothie, but it was like add, you know, chocolate and whipped cream and this and that. I'm like, that's not a healthy smoothie, like at all. Like you need to have like spinach, some kale, a banana, some frozen blueberries, and almond milk, and actually chocolate almond milk, and that's how you cheat it to make it like taste really good, you know. But yeah, I'm just, you know, these are things I've come accustomed to. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy my food too, but I like the hiking outside and
Yeah.
the vitamin D all year round. Can't go wrong with that, you know.
Now, if I was out there all the time, I'd be all burnt up. I'd be all,
Would you? Do you wear SPF?
no.
You have to. Oh yeah, you know, you have to. I didn't wear as much as, I mean, I'm very good with it, but the sun here is a lot stronger and affects your skin a lot
Is it really?
differently. I swear to you, yeah, because my best friend's an esthetician. Her name is Ericka as well.
Oh, God.
I know how to roll.
By the way, my son, my last son, my youngest son's mother is named Ericka.
Oh, really? How does she spell it?
Not your way.
Okay, I got the C and
You got
the K.
both of them. You got the C and the
Hey,
K.
why not? You know, my parents.
And I knew both of them.
Uh-huh.
I knew both. I've known both women with a C or a K.
Oh, you have?
Never a CK, though.
Hey, there you go.
But do you remember how I met you?
No, you were trying to tell me this before, and I'm convinced I know. But if you want to reveal,
No, we're going to leave that because we're going to bring another guest on.
Okay, all right. She's really cool too. I'm excited to see what she has going on.
Well, I work for the Lieutenant Governor, and this young lady was part of 5 finalists for the Lieutenant Governor's Award. He had here it is, one of the finalists.
Yeah.
For Lieutenant Governor's
Entrepreneurship Challenge.
Challenge.
She sounds like a girl right up my alley. In addition, she's a LaSalle Academy grad.
Yeah, that's right.
And I am too.
And sharp,
So.
sharp young lady.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
sharp.
let's get her out here and
Let's
have
get
her
out
do
here. All right.
it.
We'll be right back on An Hour with Bob. Stay with us. Ericka Atwell's with us tonight, along with Cherie Porvicki.
Purvika, yeah.
Porvicki?
Purvika, but
What?
Purvika.
Oh, Porvoca. Or Porvicka. Porvicka. All right, let's start this again. Cherie Porvoca. No, Porvicka.
Yeah, but yeah.
Cherie Porvicka
Sorry.
Desari.
Yeah.
I could have told you the last name.
Cherie Porvicka Desari. Right?
Yeah.
Now, we met, what, about a week ago? Down at New England Tech,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And you took part in a competition that was sponsored by the Lieutenant Governor for, what was it now?
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
Yep.
Now, your challenge was what?
So basically, we had to come up with a business plan for a business that you'd be starting. And the first round of the competition was judges would be reviewing those business pitches, like business plans from all over the state. And then they picked the top 5, and then we went to the oral part of it, where we would have to pitch for 5 minutes.
Well, you aced it.
Oh, thanks.
You did. You won it, right?
Won.
She came in first
Yeah,
of the top
congrats.
5. And I'll tell you, there were some good ones.
Yeah.
you had some competition.
Yeah.
You had some good competition.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking.
Those three guys, those three guys that were doing, what was it, stocks and bonds?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool too.
They were talking a lot of. It was
And
a lot of
that girl that, what was that thing she was doing?
Loop and Nut, I think.
Yeah.
Hers was really cool.
They were
Is that
good.
cool?
Ones.
Yeah.
They were good.
So this is high schools all throughout Rhode Island?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah.
And she won a scholarship too.
Yes.
You won a few dollars.
Maybe you should apply that to California.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you win?
$4,000.
That's
What's
terrific.
wrong with that, huh?
Right?
$4,000 for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Think about that, what you could do in an hour.
Yeah.
$4,000 in 5 minutes,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Congrats.
So,
It was a really great opportunity.
yeah, and your parents were there.
Yep. They were super
It
fun.
was great to see them. And I'm good at picking winners, by the way, because I gave one card out that day. You know who I gave the card to? Before the competition was over.
Of course, yeah.
I walked over to, did I give it to you?
Yeah.
And I said, what?
I have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said like don't tell anyone.
Yeah, no, because I was
You don't want to hurt
embarrassed.
anyone's feelings.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 4 other, and you were alone. There was only one other that was
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
Everybody else had 2 and 3 people in their group, right?
Yeah.
And there was one group at 3.
And you were solo.
And you were
Yeah,
solo,
awesome,
handling it on
I'm
your
so
own.
interested. So tell me, like, what is it that you created?
So basically, right now I'm creating an app to help combat like public speaking anxiety amongst high school
Right.
students.
There you
Oh,
go.
good.
Yeah. So like usually like so basically when I was in civics class, like just it was like 80% of our grade was on discussion, and so like as a freshman, just like raising my hand, I was like really like nervous and everything.
Everybody's nervous.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Everybody's nervous when they get up in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And people have said to me, oh, I was nervous about going on your show, but I was all right after once I got on. I said, you know something? I'm nervous too. Everybody's nervous.
It's
If you're not
true.
nervous, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right?
My first interview that I did was with the Newport Gulls. I
Oh.
used to do the New England Collegiate Baseball League, and it's a great idea because it's all Ivy League baseball players,
Yep.
and it's a good situation to be interviewing them. My first interview was with this Harvard player, and I said to him, I'm so nervous. And he said, you're nervous? I don't even know what you're going to ask me. And I was
That's
like,
right.
good point. So it kind of like killed that. But
Right.
in college is where I got very comfortable learning the public speaking. So I think it's terrific. And
She's
it's,
doing it in high school.
Yeah, it's
10th
terrific.
grade in high school.
You know, it's like a confidence thing, and it makes you feel good. And you know, your ideas do matter, and that's the thing. Is like, it's terrific. So how did you this app? Like, I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, so like once I saw that like this is an actual problem, like when you like notice like when you're presenting more or like interviewing more, it's like you know how to like act sort of like you don't act nervous because you get used to it. So I was thinking like rather than having to actually like do more presentations in person, is there a way to like practice, like mimic that experience so you wouldn't have to practice in front of like an actual audience each time? So that's when I came up with virtual reality to simulate like an actual classroom
That's right.
experience.
I
That's
didn't like
right.
that,
That's
huh?
everything. You know, and a lot of things in Hollywood right now, everything's kind of all the screenwriters, everything's they're coming up with those worlds of those virtual realities. A lot of our film industry and stuff. So to be on the brink of thinking that way is it's brilliant. It's really cool. Did you like have like whose faces did you use in the app? Like
So basically,
I'm like, can you cast me? See that? You know? I could be a friendly face listening, like, you know.
Yeah, I purchased a 360-degree video recorder camera. So I recorded a chemistry classroom at LaSalle.
Wow.
Yeah, so a classroom of freshmen, and I used that and experience that I had students practice public speaking in.
Terrific. How did you monitor the results? Like, did you like talk to them after about their comfort level, like, or?
So I did that, and then I also recorded their heart rate. So
These kids
Wow,
are
you recorded their heart rate when they started and then after.
Did you take their
Is that it?
temperature to see if they were like sweating too and like hot? That's amazing.
yeah,
Like me, I was sweating when we first started the show. You notice how he cleared up? See?
Yeah.
They turned the air on.
Yeah, and now the jacket makes sense.
Yeah, so like I would have them. So I asked them like a question. I was like, "What's your favorite animal?" And tell me about it for like a minute, like as like a prompt.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
And they got less nervous as the minute went by, right?
Yeah, sort of. So like I had the practice with me, right? And so I recorded their heart rate while they were talking with me.
Right.
And then after that, I like put the headset on, like the virtual reality headset on. So now they had to speak for a minute in front of like a virtual classroom of like freshman students of like civics in like chemistry class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so.
So cool.
Yeah, and then I recorded their heart rate when they were speaking in that like environment, and then I compared the two, And I found that your heart rates increase when you're speaking to like an audience, and based on like it's like called a seminal paper, so like this paper proved that heart rate is linked with anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, so I use that to prove that, you know, like a virtual reality environment can simulate an actual environment, like in regards to like a high school classroom. So
Yeah.
that's.
And how did the kids react after they did it? What did they say? What did they say their reaction was?
So it was actually kind of funny, like when they were practicing like with me, it was like they were like completely like, you know, laid back, like it was like fine.
Right.
And as soon as like they started like practicing like with the virtual audience, it was like they were talking faster and they were like, you know, like
They'll
a
get
little shaky.
jittery,
yeah,
were
like,
they?
like repeating like and stuff like that. And then after like, you know, their feedback, it was like, oh, like that thing really made me nervous, and like it like actually felt like an actual classroom. And
The virtual reality made them feel nervous?
Yeah.
So
not the virtual reality, like just like talking in front of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I have had one experience with virtual reality, and it was actually at Bentonville Film Festival for Miss Arizona.
Right.
A lot of these vendors come and they showcase things, and so the new technology was a ride, and like you lay down and you put on that headset, you feel very confined, like you're in that, you know, it's very confining.
Hey, I think what do we got? 1 minute left? 10 minutes? Oh, all right.
I had a 0 on that one.
Yeah, I said, yeah, but you had it upside down.
Yeah, there you go. That's terrific.
So you did that, how long? How long did you conduct this experiment?
Oh, it took me about like 2 weeks to like, it was such a hassle. Like I had to ask so many people like to sign up the like consent forms, and finding time after school and before
isn't that
school.
annoying?
Yeah.
Like you said, the paperwork and everything.
Yeah.
I hate it. I've been a photographer
you just
all
give
my
yourself
life.
like a window and a room, and you like sign it up, act like a casting. Say, be here between 10 and 2, you know?
I
But-
like taking photographs. I just want to take photographs. I don't want to have people like sign this paper now. I took your picture.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
And nowadays with Facebook and whatever, people are afraid when they take your picture. Oh, what are you going to do with that picture?
Yes.
It's a little different now.
Yeah.
So have you constructed the app yet? Have you?
So right now, like, you know how I explained my experiment where like I had to like manually analyze the results, like the heart rate.
Right.
Yeah. So right now I'm working on the app to make sure like the app actually does it itself. So originally what I did was like I played the video on the phone, and then I put it on the person's head, and then I recorded it. So instead of that, like having an app where like you would have your smartwatch which would have a heart rate sensor, and saying like, all right, like you'd have your headset on, like you'd put it yourself, and then say play the experience, and then the app would record your data and play the experience, and like you can choose what experience you want, and yeah. But
What do you mean choose what experience you want?
So like basically like you would have multiple, like it wouldn't have to be just one classroom. Like you could have like different types of classrooms, you know, like a small, like, you know, oh, I want like a classroom of 5 students, or one classroom of like 20 students,
Right.
or
That's good.
like I want an auditorium.
Okay, now tell me this. Did you try working them up to that? Like, say you started, did you think about doing it that way? Like having doing a one-on-one, and then putting a virtual reality with 5 people, and then a virtual reality with 50 people, and then a virtual reality with, because I love, the bigger the audience, the more I like it.
So I was actually, that was,
The other thing. Huh?
Me too.
Yeah. The
yeah.
more
The
exciting
more the
it is.
merrier.
Huh?
The more the merrier.
Yeah, it's fun. Even years ago, I remember when I was selling insurance in the 70s. I used to like to do the group presentations.
Yeah.
Oh man, give me 100 people, and I'll sell 25 of them, rather than doing a one-on-one, going to a person's house and spend 2 hours with them and maybe get a sale.
Right.
I get 20 out of 100, or 25 out of 100.
Yeah, that works, right?
Actually,
The law of numbers, right?
I did a hell of a lot better than that.
Did you? I'm
Yeah.
sure, you know?
I did, yeah.
It's like,
I did. I remember doing one. I'm not even going to mention the city, but one of the cities, it was the postal people. No, Social Security. Social Security. It wasn't in Pawtucket, but it was Social Security Administration office. And I give the presentation. My boss was with me that morning, and I'm in front of the room and I'm explaining everything to him. And my father did die. It's a fact. He died when I was 7 years old. And we had 8 brothers and sisters and all that shit, all that stuff. I mean, and we excuse me, we survived. We went through life and without a dad type thing. My mother never remarried, and here I am selling life insurance to these people. And after my presentation, I said, look, I am not going to ask anyone of you There were 95 people there. I am not going to ask any one of you for anything. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm mixing them up. That was the time it was 24 Social Security. When I did the post office, it was 95 people. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was the Social Security. I give them the whole spiel, and I say, I'm not going to pressure anybody. And I looked out the window, we were on the second floor. I said, how's that restaurant over there? It was a breakfast. It was like 9:30 in the morning. I said, how's their breakfast? And somebody said, oh, it's pretty good. I said, look, we're going to go have breakfast. When I come back, if anybody's interested, I'll be here for you. So we went across the street. I'm sitting there with my boss. His name was John. And I said, he said, Bob, how'd you think you did? I said, I thought I blew it. He goes, blew it? He said, you had me crying. He said, I was in the back of the room crying. I said, no, I didn't feel it. We went back over there after. We walked up to the room I was in, and there was nobody there. There was not a soul in the room. I thought maybe I'd get a couple.
Yeah.
There wasn't a soul in the room. All of a sudden, out comes the director, the head of the Social Security Administration. He says to me, oh, they're lined up in the other room waiting for you. I go in the other room, true story. I signed 23 of 24 people up that morning.
Oh, God bless you. That's good.
23 out of 24.
Well, you realized that you had a solution, which gives you coming from a place of power instead of like, you know what I mean?
Now, what do you mean a solution?
Well, you're like, hey, come with me. I have the expertise. I can help you, and I'll guide you if you want. But, you know, it's...
Yeah, I'm not going to push you.
You're not going to, you know, because you don't need the business. Like,
Right.
you would want it, you know, for sure, but you don't need it. And I
Well, you
think
don't
that's
wanna pressure
sexier. That's always the sexier thing, you know, I think.
You think?
Yeah. So you kind of showed, hey, I know what's going on, and then they all...
They followed?
They followed suit.
So it could have been a Jim Jones then or something, right?
It totally could have been. I'm thinking, what was that? Yeah, there's movies made on this stuff, you know? I can see you.
I could have my own cult.
Can't you see him in the 70s in some little diner?
Yeah,
And
I
then
totally
just being there
could.
with his, like, his boss being like, you know, and then going up there, the whole room being full of people. Like, Bob, you're a movie.
Yeah, I totally can see that, yeah.
You know, what did you order for breakfast? Do you remember?
Yeah, eggs and home fried.
There you go. I knew it. I knew
Overnight.
it. And coffee. With
And
cream.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Milk.
sugar. You're sweet enough?
I don't do sugar.
There you go.
There you go. I drink iced coffee with no sugar.
Me too. I'm sweet enough.
And not cream, just milk, a little bit of milk.
I do a little bit of cream. It's the only cream I really allow myself to have.
I can't drink it without sweetness.
No?
Without sweetness?
Yeah.
You love sweetness?
Yeah.
Are you one of those that uses 9 sugars in their coffee?
Yep, that's
No
me.
way. No way.
I see people, imagine having 9 unsweetened, what do they call those? Like
Oh, like the Splendas and stuff like
yeah,
that?
9 Splendors, ripping all the bags and pouring them in.
Nope, I cannot.
That's even worse than regular sugar.
But she's probably onto something. Maybe it's those chemicals in that sugar that make her think like about a genius app like this. Like maybe I should have a lot of sugar and then write a movie script.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn from you. LaSalle girl.
All right, now you're going to school when?
Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow's my first day.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
You excited?
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. It's my last first day of school, like high school, because
Wow.
senior year. Yep.
Senior year, make it count.
That's
You got
right.
this.
Make it count is right. Enjoy it while you have it,
Totally.
Yeah.
right?
Totally. I'm so grateful that
Yeah.
I went to LaSalle. It's a wonderful
Yeah.
community, and it's really going to prepare you, like moving
Yeah.
forward. And
I'm so glad I joined LaSalle.
Nothing like a
yeah.
Catholic education,
Yeah.
it's true.
really. I went 9 years to a Catholic school. Had enough of it though, and I went to a public school for the last 3.
Did you? You were like, I'm out of here.
It's enough of that.
No, LaSalle, the spirit, LaSalle is
Yeah.
so
No,
It's
no,
like
absolutely.
the
The teachers
absolutely.
like care
It's
about
good.
you, and it's like it's
Yeah,
really good.
it's different because you got brothers, right, in high school. I had nuns for 9 years.
Oh.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
And by the way, back in those days, they had the habit. All you saw was this much. You didn't see anything.
really?
Oh, you didn't see anything. This is all you
That's
saw.
kind of terrifying.
Yeah, it
Did
is.
you get the ruler? Did they
All
like
the
hit you with a
time.
ruler?
My knuckles are busted. Are you kidding?
Really?
Yes. Oh my God, they used to beat me to
gangster,
death. They were
isn't
a
it?
frustrated
Yeah.
woman is what they were.
Wow.
They were a frustrated woman. They used to whack me all the time.
Oh man.
I remember one nun in particular. Her name was Sister Mary Aaronese, and I can say that now. She's dead. She was my 2nd grade
God
teacher. She used
bless
to
her
slap
soul.
me all the time. She would slap me all the time. What do you do that for? She goes, "You're smiling.
on
You
the-
must have did something wrong."
On the face?
Oh
Or-
yeah, right across the face.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then if penmanship class, because that's what they called it. Now they call it cursive, but
Yeah.
they used to call it penmanship class. And if you didn't do the Palmer method like this is the Palmer method, they would take a pointer and crack it right over.
Really? Stop
Oh
it.
yes,
Oh, gosh.
absolutely, yes. That was brutal.
So 70s you were doing insurance. What decade were you doing? Wait, when were you getting your knuckles cracked?
In the 60s.
In the 60s. All right. Jeez, I thought that was peace and love.
Oh,
And
yeah, it was peace and, yeah.
And like groovy, man. Like
Yeah,
they were.
if you were out in the world, not if you were a nun.
Yeah, not if you.
Because they weren't doing never mind.
They were frustrated.
They were frustrated. They were frustrated. Now, what happened here? Now, you started to tell me about this. This Miss Arizona.
Yeah, of course. So Miss Arizona has been doing extremely well in the independent film festival route. We had our world premiere at Bentonville Film Festival, which is Gina Davis's film festival.
Right.
So
in Arkansas, where is it?
Yeah, in Arkansas, Bentonville, Arkansas, which.
What a good guess.
Yeah, right. Hey, which is a really charming town, by the way.
Really?
It was so nice to kind of see like history not touched, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it hasn't been destroyed by anything. Like it's very quiet, and I really like the
Until
vibe.
now.
Yeah, until no.
We just made it aware of everybody.
Everybody could go. No, but Bentonville, it was great. And so we won Best Feature.
Cool.
And then we went on to win some other ones. The film festival that I was able to take my dad to last month was Woods Hole Film Festival,
Oh, yeah.
which is on the Cape.
Nice.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
It was so nice. We went to Captain Kidd's and I got a lobster roll that was insane.
Really?
But yeah, and we also won. About the film. It was my first lobster roll in a while. I was excited.
Have you had lobster at Twin Oaks recently?
You know what? I went to Twin Oaks last night with all my girlfriends, and
Did you?
I made my girlfriend, who has not been there in a long time, split with me.
The lobster plate.
Nope, baked stuffed shrimp, girl.
Oh.
And with a side of mash, and then we got
can't beat the
chicken
place.
parm and a side of spaghetti, and we split them.
And
we had leftovers for her husband because we're watching our portions.
Well, even if you don't watch your portions, I can't eat one of their meals.
Oh, I know, it's huge.
Yeah,
Have you been to Twin
everything
Oaks?
is huge. Twin Oaks.
You haven't been to Twin Oaks? No. Promise me before you graduate, you'll go there.
I'll go there.
We used to go up to some of the LaSalle hockey games. It's like fun. It's old school. It's very old school.
Been there like 85 years. It's something like 65 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And they have the best. I mean, if you can get on with any kind of food there, and it's awesome, whatever it is. But if you like lobster, they have a lobster plate.
Yeah.
They have it two ways: cold or hot lobster. The cold lobster plate is humongous. It's for 2 people or more.
Yeah.
I've never brought anybody there that could finish the entire, because you get the whole that lobster plate, plus you get potato and vegetable or pasta and vegetable, whatever.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody. I took the Lieutenant Governor when he won Lieutenant Governor McKee 4 years ago. I took him and his wife there, and
they loved it?
They couldn't finish it. Same thing.
Yeah. Wow.
I've taken females there over the years, and nobody.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Nobody has ever finished a lobster plate over there.
That's good to know.
And they have the hot lobster plate with 4 lobster tails and butter, drawn butter in the center.
You have to have the butter. Do you like lobster?
I've just had it once actually.
You have? Okay.
Yeah, but I remember liking it a lot.
I really enjoy lobster, but the baked stuffed shrimp too is really good. I have
Very
to pull
good.
for
Yeah,
that
very
one.
good.
It's the Ritz
Hey,
cracker.
we got to wrap. We're all done, you know. You just spent an hour with Bob. Do you know that?
I did. I'm hungry now too.
Ericka Atwell, a former Rhode Island resident from Cranston too, right?
West Warwick.
Oh, West Warwick. Yeah, no, we're thinking of Cranston. What am I saying, Cranston?
I do
But you
love
still
Cranston,
haven't.
though.
You still haven't figured out where we met.
Bob, I'm telling you, it was at the Ocean State Farley's. Who believes me? I wish we could have a poll.
Nope, it was not.
Okay, where was
It
it?
was downtown Providence. It was right in front of City Hall.
City Hall.
Right in
I
front
don't
of
know
City
if I'm
Hall.
buying this story or not. I
It
don't know.
was downtown Providence.
What was I doing?
I don't remember, but it was down. Oh, it was. It might have been New Year's Eve.
Definitely not.
No,
No, I'm telling you, it was Ocean State Farley's. It had to be.
it wasn't Ocean State Farley's. I'm sure of that. Oh, he was on the show one night, right? With the Ocean
Charlie
State
Hall?
Farley,
Yeah,
Charlie
yeah.
Hall. And after, he goes out to his car and he puts a speaker in the back of his car, right? And he's got a Lexus with the what do they call it?
Like a hatchback
SUV
or-
with a hatchback, right? And he didn't put the speaker all the way in, and he closed the hatch, and it's a power close, and it closed, and it shattered the window. And it was
I'm
a dead
sorry,
of winter.
Charlie.
It was a dead of winter, all little tiny pieces like this big. I hear somebody screaming, and I go running outside. This Charlie standing
Can
there.
you blame him?
Oh my God, he was livid.
Well, I agree to disagree as to where we met,
It
but
was
I'm
not.
I'm happy I met you. Right? And it's
Well,
so
well,
nice
that's
to
nice,
finally be here, so thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm happy to meet you,
to meet you too.
my LaSalle girlfriend here now.
We're out of here, folks. We're out of here. See ya.
Bye.